wanna be round a champion, a champion. This is me, I still on it, 'cause you all wanna be loved. Yeah, you all wanna be loved.
Hey, and welcome to the Crimson Dynasty. I know y'all see a new face tonight, so we have some exciting things to share. I'm so excited to be here. You know, we're coming off of a huge weekend with A-Day, and it was awesome. I think for me, it was a lot of what I expected. So we're going to talk about that tonight, but then some other stuff as well. So I definitely want to welcome everyone who's new here to the Crimson Dynasty. This is a sister show of the Bama Standard Network. So a lot of our supporters, I know that you all watch, you know, some of the other shows as well. So we really appreciate your support. But before we get started, be sure to hit that like button and also subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss a video. But I definitely want to give a shout out to our sponsor, Workspace Solutions. So before we get started, before we do anything, be sure to copy down their website address that we have listed below. If your business needs any type of digital presence or a full-fledged marketing team at an affordable price, be sure to contact them and let them know that we sent you over. I'm sure they'll appreciate that. So without further ado, my name is Cici, and I'm the host for the Crimson Dynasty. And we have Dan James IV. Dan, how you doing tonight? And can you hear us okay?
I think you're muted.
Yeah, you're muted.
I lost the screen. I'm sorry. I'm always good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know.
Year
man.
older as a Monday. Thank you very much. You know,
I know. But look, you know, I have to ask though, because we missed you this weekend. He couldn't come down for A-Day, but this is Dan James IV. So he's the lead recruiting analyst at the Bama Standard, but he's also a part of the Final Whistle show that comes on every Tuesday night. So he always has like that knowledge that we need regarding new recruits or even transfers coming from other schools. So be sure to check out the Final Whistle every Tuesday night. And then tonight, of course, we have Teague's Take that's coming on at 9:15 Eastern. So that'll come on after this show. But I definitely want to introduce our guest co-host tonight. Hannah will not be joining. She'll be back next week. But we do have JB. So JB, I'll let you introduce yourself and then we'll jump right in.
Thank you so much, Cici. I'm JB, one of the newest members of the Bama Standard family. We have a new show this Saturday coming up. Saturday night talking Bama. It's me and JT. It will be on the Bama Standard Network, 8:30 p.m. Central Time this Saturday. But right now, we're here on the Crimson Dynasty, and it's a blessing to be here, and I appreciate you for having me on the show.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, and it was awesome meeting you. I think we met Friday. So you were,
night,
yeah.
That was show.
Yeah. That was awesome. It felt like kind of like a little family reunion. You know, except Dan wasn't there, but that's okay. I think he's having some technical difficulties, but let's just go ahead and jump right in. I want to go ahead and talk about A-Day. So we've been hearing some mixed opinions regarding A-Day, and, you know, we having like different reactions, how people feel. One thing that stood out to me is that we didn't have any turnovers. But a part of that is almost like a double-edged sword, because you don't know if that means that the O-line has improved a lot, or if maybe on the defensive side, it's because we just weren't playing as aggressive as we would have in a regular game. So that's going to be one, you know, thing where it's like, okay, we're going to have to keep watching. And also because, you know, speaking of the O-line, we know that Jaden Roberts, he was still a little banged up. He got out there, but he was still a little banged up. And then I noticed, and I'm going to get y'all's opinions on this, but I noticed a number of very low snaps. And I'm like, okay, this kind of looks like Seth McLaughlin. Like, is he out there? You know, I know with Austin Mack, with his height, you know, maybe that could be a little tricky, but I mean, it was the same across the board with Milroe, Simpson, and Lonergan. So that's definitely something that needs to be improved. But before I jump into what I saw, what stood out to me, I want to get y'all's opinions. So JB, I'm actually going to start with you on this one. If you had to name, I guess, like either one position group or a player in particular that you felt like really stood out and solidified his position or his starting position, who would that be?
I think the running back room kind of stood out mostly to everybody. And I would say Jalen Milroe and Justice Haynes will probably be a 1-2 punch. Richard Young coming in as the third back. I mean, they all look good to me, but a lot of people are raving about Jalen Milroe, and he's the real deal. I'm talking about he won the MVP for the A-Day game, and the O-line, I don't know if it was the defense not being aggressive or the O-line being so good that they were opening up holes for these running backs. But it looked pretty good to me. So the running backs were impressive to me.
Yeah.
Everybody.
So it would be the running backs. Now, what about you, Dan? Did any I guess particular position group stand out to you, or any player in particular?
Definitely the running back, but I would like to say, you know, I think Germie Bernard has solidified himself as a starter at the receiver position. I love the connection he and Milroe had. You know, I like his ability. You know, I knew he was an excellent blocker coming in. I already knew that. You know, but his ability to go up and high point the ball and everything, I was quite impressed. You know, to say the least. But definitely him, and you know, man, how about Justin Okoronkwo?
Yeah.
I mean, wow. You know,
he had like 11 tackles or something like that.
Yes,
As well.
I mean, you know, his first game on American soil. You know, and he came in. I mean, he knew what was going. You know, he was very active, and I mean, man, I was impressed. You know, you tell the guy, you know, he did his homework, you know, while he was waiting to get into the States. You know, he was unable to get his passport in time to come and play in the All-Star game, you know, the high school All-American game. So, you know, this was our first time to actually be able to lay eyes on him, and man, he did not disappoint.
Yeah, I agree. I think, and so from both of your perspectives, I agree as far as like the running backs, but then also the receivers. Of course, Caleb Odom, it was good to see him out there. But Germie Bernard, I think, you know, when we hear like even Stephen M. Smith, for example, when he came on a few weeks ago, he kept harping on how Germie, not only is he good in terms of, you know, receiving, but also blocking, you know, and just this guy's so fast. And, you know, when you think about the secondary, for example, because I was looking forward to seeing them, Xavier Brown, you know, the incoming freshman. I know that he's kind of gotten some heat regarding those two explosive plays that Germie Bernard had that, you know, he wasn't really able to cover him. And I mean, to me, that's kind of, you know, hit or miss. I do think that we may need to focus on getting maybe one more cornerback out the portal. I know that, you know, Cormani McLean's name. And honestly, I wanted Cormani, you know, before he decided to go to Colorado. But with, you know, some of the things that we're hearing, I don't know if that would be a good fit for us. So I don't know. I mean, we have, you know, Jackson from USC, Damani Jackson. So, and he got out there. He was pretty good. Keon Sab as well, you know, from a safety perspective. So, but I want to get y'all's takes on the QB position, because I know from the running back side, now these last couple of years, I've been saying the same thing about Jam Miller. Like I didn't understand why we weren't playing him more. I mean, with Tommy Reese, maybe it was just a lack of, maybe he just didn't understand, you know, Jam, and didn't understand maybe his strengths and weaknesses and all of that. But, you know, to me, it was clear as day, even last year, that he would have been that integral part of the offense, you know, if we actually used him correctly. And I think that that's what we're doing this season. But I want to understand, how do y'all feel about the QB position? Because to be honest, I think a lot of us were expecting to see like more competition, if you will, but it didn't really see it. It almost seemed like it was, you know, Jalen Milroe kind of, and maybe it's just because he had more experience on the field. I don't know, but I'm going to start with you, JB. How do you feel about the QB spot? Do you feel like any of them outshine the other, or do you see potentially one of them considering to transfer?
I was worried about Ty Simpson transfer until we got clarification that he's staying on, I think Monday. So I was happy to hear that. But I mean, I saw, you know, Milroe look good at times, and I saw all of them look good at times. Milroe will probably be the starter most likely, and Ty Simpson being the backup, I think is needed. Dylan Lonergan looked good to me too. He really looked good. He made a couple safe throws, you know, kind of nickel and diamond down the field on his drives. Austin Mack still, he didn't impress me much. He still needs work. He's young. I understand that. And like you mentioned, the low snaps. He's 6'6". He had like 2 or 3 low snaps. But Milroe seemed to be more in control of the offense, if you know you want to say that. And the offense as a whole kind of left me wanting more, if that makes sense. It gave you a little taste of what it could be, and it left you want more. So that's a good thing, in my opinion. But I think Jalen's the guy.
Gotcha. Yeah, I agree with all of that, especially, regarding Lonergan. I mean, I've been supporting him since, even A-Day last year. He stood out. To me, he kind of makes me think of like a Mac Jones, if you will, like the type of guy where once his number is called, he's gonna get out there, he's gonna get the job done. So, he may not get out there much this season if he decides to stay, but I do think that, he gets some more experience and he actually gets out on the field a little more. He could be big. He could be big at Alabama. Now, Dan, I'm going to ask you the same question. So regarding the QB room, did any of the QBs stand out to you? And do you feel like any of them kind of solidified that QB1 spot?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's definitely Jalen's job. His team. It's his team. His job to lose without a question.
Mm-hmm.
I was impressed with the top three quarterbacks. Jalen, I think he's getting a better command of the offense. He's more decisive.
Mm-hmm.
His spring game. They wouldn't lighten him up, so it's a different once you get in a live fire.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
Ty Simpson, I've always been confident in Ty Simpson. I know what he could do. I felt there was no need for him to really have to clarify that he wasn't going to enter the portal. Nothing about him seemed to give that he was a player that would hit the portal, when the time came.
Mm-hmm.
But Dylan Lonergan, I really, really, really like this guy.
Yeah.
He gets it. His release, his decisiveness, his pinpoint accuracy. I like what I see from Dylan Lonergan. I think we can win a lot of games with all three quarterbacks. Austin Mack, like you say, he was a little raw. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure the center look down, he's seen nothing but knees. I think 6'6" is underselling it.
Yeah.
I've heard as much from 6'7" to 6'8".
I was gonna say 6'7". Yeah.
I wish I could have gone. I measured myself.
He's easily 6'7". Yeah.
But I feel confident really all four of the quarterbacks. But Mac, I think he needs more work. But we understood that. But definitely I think we can win games with definitely the top two, and Lonergan just more getting experience.
Yeah, understood. And then I feel like Austin Mack, I don't think that he anticipates being able to, he's not going to play in every game, and I think he knows that, and Lonergan as well. But honestly, Lonergan is a guy that I would strategically place in certain games, bigger games, just to get that experience, and I think that with the offense that we're going to have from a coaching perspective, I mean, they should be able to be creative enough to draw up plays that integrates both Milroe and Ty Simpson, because to me, you're going up against a different defense each week. It's not going to be the same across the board. So, you need to be able to work those different guys in there. And I do see, I wasn't gonna shout him out, but I see that Jalen Milroe groupie in the chat. This guy, he's been bashing Milroe since last year, and it's lit like it's like you follow him everywhere on social media, everywhere, like a groupie basically. Like, what is it? I don't know. But at the end of the day, Milroe, I would say he solidified his spot, at least until something changes leading up to fall camp. So I'm just saying. Now, I do want to get y'all's perspectives, though. Parker Brailsford, the transfer from Washington, the center, of course, he didn't get out there, but I know that with some of what we're saying regarding like Brockermeyer and different guys playing at that center position, and then with, of course, Caden Proctor coming back, there would be some shifting, as far as the O-line. But I'm curious, what do we do at center? You know what I'm saying? Like, because at this point, it makes me think about when we played Michigan. It makes me think about some of the other games where we could have won. It's no reason why. Honestly, we could have probably blown out Michigan, but I think we got in our own heads, and then all the penalties. So it just makes me wonder, now that they're thinking about having like the helmets where they can communicate with the coaches, it makes me wonder how that's going to play out. But I'm curious to see maybe if we go to the portal and we get another O-lineman, what that looks like. I don't know. Now, have y'all heard anything recently regarding Brailsford? I mean, do you anticipate him playing at that center, or maybe Ionata, Brockermeyer, Dan?
That's I think we have two good centers in Brockermeyer and Brailsford. Brailsford small. The question has always been, how we hold up in the SEC.
Right.
You know, he's small. You know, we you know, a lot of people tend to say, you know, William Vallejos. Yes, you know, Redford is smaller. You know, but I think, you know, he could get the job done. You know, he did well against Texas in the bowl, so in the playoffs. I think if we, you know, one position we don't have to worry about is guard. I think we have the best guard tandem in the country. Yep. Maybe in football in general, you know. But if we do hit the portal, it'll be probably for right tackle, you know. But you know, we'll you know, I don't know how Coach DeBoer addressed, but like Coach Saban used to do, you know, you bring guys in to start, you know. I just compete, you know, you bring guys in to start through the transfer portal. You know, if you're bringing one in post spring, you're bringing them in to, you know, to start. So, you know, they if you're going to address the tackle and center position, you know, bring in the guy just to get numbers in, you would have done that pre-spring. You know, so I think, you know, any moves we make now, you know, any pickups we do in the transfer portal now is going to be projected starters.
Gotcha. That's a good I guess analytical way to look at it. I like that. So JB, what are your thoughts there? I mean, how do you feel about the O-line as of now? And then of course, considering Caden Proctor coming back in and then potentially Brailsford playing at center. I mean, do you think that maybe we still need to continue looking, or how do you feel?
It wouldn't hurt to add a O-lineman in the portal. I heard even DeBoer said he needs to, you know, try to solidify the O-line, maybe get some depth. And I know with Brailsford, I don't know, because Brockermeyer, I heard all spring that he was the guy. Everybody was saying Brockermeyer, he's the center. No low snaps. And they praised Brockermeyer like he was the best center of all time.
Right.
So I don't really know. And you mentioned you know, we got transfer coming back, Proctor. He can't come back yet, but I guess he'll be back in the summer. He'll be back with the team. So,
yeah, I believe sometime in the summer.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm guessing they'll make him work for his job back, and so it's still a work. It's a work in progress. It's a work in progress, and they look good on Saturday. You know, at A-Day, they look pretty good on Saturday. But I still think they may need to look around, try to get some depth in their O-line, because injuries happen. And you hate to see it, but it does. Just like Jaden Robinson rolled his ankle, you know, who knows? But yeah. But I believe it's gonna be a solid group once they get the chemistry together.
Yeah,
they really need that chemistry together.
I think so too. I mean, when we have to keep in mind all the changes over the last few months, you know, it's been a lot going on just within the program, you know, all the coaching changes, the guys coming in and out. So it's a lot that they have to adapt to. Now, with all this being said, who would we say has the most to prove at this point? You know, I mean, would it be, I guess, Ty Simpson? I probably wouldn't say no. I feel like he's shortly behind Milroe. You know, I don't know if it's a lot to prove, more so the consistency from both of them. You know, maybe at center, maybe, you know, from a cornerback perspective, who would we say has the most to prove? And I'll start with you, Dan, on that one.
Oh, that's a good question. The most to prove. Let me say, you know, hey, James Brockermeyer.
Brockermeyer,
You know, we need to know, are we okay at center? You know, I feel like he has the most to prove. You know, we figure, you know, hey, we get the center, we able to get the ball from the center to the quarterback into the hands of the playmaker. You know, we'd be okay. That's the most fundamental thing we got to do to start the offense. So if we can do that, you know, and do that effectively, you know, I think we'll be okay. So without a doubt, I think James Brockermeyer is one with the most to prove. They bring in a guy, you know, they bring in a transfer. You know, you're still holding up, you know. This year 3 in the program for year 3 or 4. Is it 3 or 4? I can't remember.
I don't know.
I think it's 3. I
know
year 4. I think his brother transferred out.
Yeah, so year 4, cause he came with
his brother.
Yeah, he came in with Latham and his brother. So this be year 4.
Okay.
So, you know, Yeah, without a doubt, you know, and so far he seemed to be up for the challenge, you know. So and they're like, you know, we were talking about, oh man, we got this All-American, you know, center, you know, oh man, we should fix the center position. But guess what? You know, we may have had one all along on the roster.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, you look at my boy, my guard. What's the guard? The right guard. I forget it. James Roberts.
Jay Roberts.
Yeah, that would happen when you get 50. But you look at him. You know, he came in 7. You know, he was on the bench a few years, but year 3, you know, look, you know, so you know that shows that we're developing guys. You know what I'm saying? So you know, it's process. You know, you follow the process. You know, things happen. So you know, Parker Brailsford had to come in and be the guy that was in the process. You know, so we develop guys. You know, we still develop guys at Alabama. So sometimes we miss on a recruit. You know, we still can develop guys. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm thinking. I'm hoping that, you know, we got with Brockermeyer.
Right. Okay, so you would say Brockermeyer. JB, who would you say has the most to prove?
I say a group of guys, man. All those freshman cornerbacks we got, those DBs.
That's exactly what
Man, because we know Malachi. We know what he's going to bring to the table. Keon Sal, we know what he's going to bring. But we got a bunch of talent back there, young guys, man. Xavier Brown, Mbakwe, Mincy.
Mincy, yeah. You got Red Morgan, Peyton Woodyard, all them, yeah. But are you saying DBs collectively, safeties and cornerbacks, or because I was gonna say just the cornerbacks?
Cornerbacks, yeah. You're right, yeah, cornerbacks, because I think the safety position is pretty much safe at the safety position.
Yeah.
Malachi and
with Deontae Smith.
Yeah, and Deontae Smith, he's been there too. But yeah, cornerback, because I mean, Damani Jackson, he's got some experience. He's transferred in, but he's still new to, you know, Bama. So we don't really know who's gonna start at the cornerback, and that's why we keep hearing portal. Who we gonna get from the portal? And from what I saw, I mean, they look good, but I don't know, man. I'm still not sold on any starter in the back end like that, besides Malachi and Sam.
Yeah, I feel you, and I would say, so I was gonna say Damani as the guy that I would want to. I feel like because he has that collegiate experience, not in the SEC, of course, but still he's been out on the field. Maybe this is a little different as far as like the scheme that we're running from a defense perspective. But I think he has the most to prove, because God forbid we pull somebody out of the portal. Maybe McClain. I don't know. I think if we get Cormani, it's gonna have to be some, you know, development there to make sure that, you know, from a personal perspective, you know, he stays on track. But I mean, I think Cormani, at least the way he was touted coming out of high school as a 5-star cornerback, I think that he's the type of guy, you know, that could hit the field and make an immediate impact. So I feel like Damani really needs to lock it down. That's my guy. Now, I am curious, though, now that we're talking about the portal, who do we anticipate seeing hitting the portal from Alabama's side? I mean, is there anyone in particular? I know that there was, you know, some rumors floating around potentially about Parker, which we don't believe he is going to leave. I know that Coach mentioned that, you know, he had like some personal stuff going on, you know, but we are anticipating to be able to keep him. Now, I'm curious, are there any names that you all have been hearing, you know, that may hit the portal? And I'll start with you, JB, on this one.
I haven't heard any names, to be honest, besides Parker. And we was thinking maybe we lose a quarterback, you know. I don't know, because I've been hearing we need guys to come in, but if guys don't come in, somebody's gonna have to leave. You know, we only got so many scholarships.
Yeah.
And I haven't heard any names. We did lose a backup kick. We lost one of the kickers. One of the kickers hit the portal. I'm not sure which one.
It was a walk-on.
It was a walk-on. Okay, yeah. So he walked off. So so the walk-on left. But as far as names that possibly can hit the portal, I haven't heard any, and it's been pretty quiet the past 48 hours. So I'm kind of worried, to be honest.
What about Keon Keeley?
You know something I don't know, because I didn't hear him, but he's been. I mean, I've heard people say he was the next guy up, and I didn't see anything from him on Saturday either. So, you know, that could be possible.
Yeah, yeah. And that's pretty much what I was hearing is more so I guess, people wanted to see more out of him, in the game Saturday. But, hopefully we can keep him. I mean, honestly, I feel like the ones who chose to stay when Coach Saban retired, we need to do what we can to, to keep the guys, but also make sure that they're developing in the new system that we're bringing forth. I don't know if Dan, he may still be having connection issues.
Oh, y'all can't hear me?
We can't
see
you.
you.
I didn't know if you stepped away. I didn't want to call. I didn't want to call
There
it.
you go. There you go.
I was playing with the mouse and
Damn 50, man. We got
y'all give me a break. I'm 50 now.
Oh gosh. So then I'll pose the same question to you. So have you heard of anyone possibly hitting the portal from Alabama?
There was a rumor, somebody put out a premature tweet about Tony Mitchell, that he required Cap, but that's a name I still watch, Keon Keeley, there was a little rumors on, rumblings, and hey, he did follow a lot of Ohio State people on Twitter, but that can mean anything, you know what I'm saying? And there's rumor that Caleb Downs was recruiting him to Ohio State, so.
How much they trying to give him a check too?
Yeah,
they already like him get this money.
So what's another couple of million?
Right.
Caleb might throw some money in with it.
He might throw that money.
There you go. You know what I'm saying?
He might. He like come where the money reside.
Yeah. So things like that you want to watch out for. But other than that, I like the guys that stayed. So. That's a good sign, and we haven't had any guys leave yet. We're coming up on over 24 hours. So
about 48 hours. Look like
So let's just let it play out. Now we're post spring. We're getting back into meetings and workouts and everything. So we'll see. You know what I'm saying? The team will talk and see where we're at. Then I do expect there to be some more exits, you know what I'm saying? But, and we'll know by, what we take in from the portal.
Yeah.
So, it just is what it is. It's the day and age of football that we're in now.
Yeah. Yeah.
College free agency.
Right.
So, basically, it's crazy. It's crazy. And I think it's worth mentioning too, that the portal, I believe is only going to be open for until the end of April, right?
I think the 30th.
Yeah, the end of end of April. Okay. So just 2 weeks. So any movement there, I'm sure we'll hear about it. It's pretty soon. Now, it is worth mentioning too that we did pick up 2 new recruits to the 2025 class, so that brings the total to 10. I think that's awesome. I think we had a linebacker, Jaden Harmon from Georgia, and then also a wide receiver, Latsier Brooks from New Jersey. So I think that's pretty awesome. And I just considering since DeBoer has been here, the number of recruits that we picked up, even in the South, a lot of people kept saying, and I wanted to mention this too. I went to an event Friday night, and Coach DeBoer was there, of course, and, he spoke, and then some of the other coaches got up and spoke as well. So I was talking to Coach DeBoer, and I was just basically asking him, what are some differences that have stood out to you in this recruiting process between, having to recruit for Alabama and having to recruit for Washington? And he mentioned that it's been, I guess, easier than expected, recruiting while he's here at Alabama. And it seems like, people have been a lot more receptive to him. And I feel like from the outside looking in, maybe some of these, new recruits, they could be looking at it like, okay, well, considering the guys who decided to stay, some of the elite guys who decided to stay, it must speak to something that the program is doing right. You have Greg Byrne, he got up there and spoke as well. And he just kind of talked about that process of, solidifying Coach DeBoer and what we were looking, to accomplish. And so I just think that it's interesting, what Coach DeBoer mentioned as far as the recruiting, and then just to see it play out the way that it has, since he's gotten to Alabama. I mean, I think that it's just a matter of time before we start hearing more names, so that's awesome. I definitely think that we need to stay, on that recruiting trail. We had a lot of guys that were, there for A-Day, and, certain ones that have been there multiple times, like they're making multiple visits, and that's awesome. It speaks volumes. So, but before we move on, I definitely wanted to mention the title towel. Now, this is another, partner that we have, and okay, you represent.
I keep it on me.
Yeah, you got to.
Yeah, I keep it on me.
Right. And so we always say that your game day is not the same without a title towel. So visit whitwellsports.com and order yours, and use the discount standard. It's an exclusive discount that you only get from us. So we hope that you appreciate it. Go ahead and get yours in before, of course, fall camp and, the season kicks off. So go ahead and order yours because I'm sure that, they may start getting an influx of orders pretty soon. So we're talking about the portal, right? And we focus a lot on this show on football, but one thing that we've started to do is talk about the other sports, whether that's basketball, golf, baseball, whatever. So let's look at basketball, right? Of course, our journey ended, playing little raggedy UConn, but whatever. Now we want to kind of let's discuss what's going on with the portal because we see how it's been affecting, football. And we were just talking a couple weeks ago about how it's positively affected us in terms of basketball. A lot of the impact guys that we have, I mean, a lot of them came from this year was their first year for some of them, and then maybe even last year. So it's like, the portal has really helped us to some degree in terms of basketball. But now we're seeing like Mark Sears declare for the draft, Pringle enter the portal. I think Riley may have entered the portal. Then we may get the guy from Auburn, Aiden Holloway. I think he's going to be visiting soon. We got the transfer from Pepperdine that's coming in. I think Mallet.
Houston.
Yeah. And then we just got a guy from USF. He's a guard, Youngblood, Chris Youngblood. Yeah. So I want to get y'all's perspectives on this and just how do you feel about, the guys that are kind of moving around? Did we expect Mark Sears to declare for the draft? How do you feel about Pringle, entering the portal? I'll start with you, Dan, on this one. What are your thoughts?
Yes, it's like we talk about college football is what it is with the portal. Basketball is even worse. It's one and done for a different reason now. You know what I'm saying? Guys waiting around. Coach Nate Oates, he's honest. You know what I'm saying? So that's why you'll see guys Alabama have high turnover. Because one thing about it, he's very honest and forthcoming with guys. He like, okay, you may have hit your ceiling here. Who do we lose? We can't. I can't say we're losing Sears yet. Because players are enter the draft, declare for the draft, and go get a grade, and then they'll return to school because he still maintains eligibility. But like I was talking, like we were talking about in production meeting, Sears is what he is. Bama would be the one benefiting the most from him returning. Unless unless we can match the NIL money, give him the NIL deal, that match what he can get in a contract. I think some guys just got recruited over. Some guys maybe were the welcome, I mean, it is what it is. Coach, one thing about Coach Nate Oates, guys are going to be lining up. Guys are going to be lining up to play for Alabama.
Right, and they should.
Right, and so Alabama's going to be one of the first choices. And he's very active at one of the first to contact guys as soon as they hit the portal if it's somebody he likes. And I think with Aiden Holloway at Auburn, playing for Bruce Pearl and Nate Oates are two different things. Like it's how Nate Oates handles his shooters. You know what I'm saying? A guy go in the slump, Nate Oates tell you, hey, keep shooting.
Yeah.
That's just the way Nate Oates is. Bruce Pearl, no, he'll pull you down, he'll kill you confident. So Nate Oates, he encouraged, hey man, keep shooting.
Yeah.
And guys line up to play for a coach like that, especially a shooter, you know what I'm saying? So and he got guys lined up. So, in order to bring guys in, you have to move guys out. It just is. Or encourage them to move on. Hey, so it is what it is. And, Bama, I expect Bama to upgrade the roster, honestly.
Yeah.
So when you're what we were 100 and something in overall defense, so you got to, what I'm saying? You got to be able
you got to do something.
You got to dress. Because one thing you can find in the portal is a score. You can find a score anywhere. You can go to the Y and find a guy that can score. But a guy that get on and play on ball defense, that's a premium. Yeah. So you want to go and get your length, and we were missing length on the perimeter, and it showed. And they just back our little guards down, what I'm saying, do what they want to in the post. You know, we're getting bullied in the post. It is what it is. Honestly, there ain't but so much shooting.
I mean, yeah.
So hey, if you want to play with the big boys, you got to get big boys. You know what I'm saying?
Look, exactly like that big tree that we were playing against at UConn. Yeah. We could do that with him. We could not do that.
You look, we played against Edith, early in the year. It is what it is. And poor Grant Nelson, the guy played out of position. If Grant Nelson would have played with Bediako, he'd probably be a top 10 pick. What Bediako could have done for him. So Grant Nelson, he took a beat. He was playing out of position. People were like, Grant Nelson, but hey, he was playing out of position, man.
Yeah.
In the post, he was getting beat up, leaned on, and everything. So yeah, we beat up our forward playing them at 5. You know what I'm saying? So we got to. I think definitely we have to hit size in the portal, and I like. I think the Cliff Omenyoro, the guy from Rutgers. I really like this guy.
Yeah.
Maybe we can get him in. You know what I'm saying? So I expect us to make moves, but definitely, if we don't go and get us a big man, I don't care if we go get a 6'3", 350-pound guy. I'm tired of getting bullied in the paint.
Yeah. Out there, got us out there looking crazy.
We don't do that. If we don't address that glaring weakness, I'm gonna spit nails. You know what I mean?
Don't do that. Look, hey, while you talking about Ada Holloway, that Auburn guy that's transferring to Alabama, Chris over there having a fit. Chris in the chat, the little Auburn / Alabama.
He gonna say he was trash anyway. That's what he gonna say.
Right. He gonna say, because look, we tried to tell him, don't nobody want to be at no raggedy Auburn. Y'all don't win. Y'all haven't built a standard for winning. You don't know what that feels like. You don't talk about Bruce Pearl.
Oh man.
Bro. Bruce, who? Nobody know who that is. Y'all don't look. Dan, I guess he's talking to you. Don't talk about Bruce Pearl. Shout out to Ty Alexander, Roll Tide peeps. Thank you for the super chat, and thank you everyone who's in the live chat. We see y'all's comments. Nate Oates is a one-hit wonder, way overpaid. Alabama's basketball program is like the church league. You need to be in somebody's church. You should be at somebody's Bible study tonight, getting delivered from that delusion that you operate in. Look, y'all, every single week. With this Cam Newton 2010 picture every single week, dude, you are faithfully here. But that's one thing that we can brag on you about, is that although you're an Auburn fan, you are very consistent. So hopefully, we can get a little bit more consistent in our passing game, like is the way you be showing up here.
He has the absolute gall to talk about Nate Oates, saying that he's a one-hit wonder. Bruce Pearl is a one-round wonder. He's out after one round. So, Chris, when we address that, how come y'all peak in the regular season? Come tournament time, when it's time to actually play, you're watching Alabama at home advance. Can we talk about that?
That's what you do when you raggedy, because you don't know any. That's the norm for you. See, our norm is winning, right? Our norm is getting the best of the best. They don't even want to. And what was that Kool-Aid said in that video, that he initially thought about going to Auburn? He said, "Hell no, I ain't going to Auburn." I mean, people don't even. It makes I told you, I only been there like once or twice, and I literally I almost just cringed every time I step foot there, because I'm like, there's literally no reason to be here. There's no purpose. All they do is lose. They don't know how to win. They're haters. It's pathetic. And I want to feel bad for this guy, because I'm just you're living in this la la land where you think that you're up to par with Alabama, but you're delusional. All y'all do is lose. You have nothing to celebrate. Why y'all selling t-shirts in a store? Who want to wear it? What y'all celebrate? Y'all ain't do nothing. That literally,
Can we also talk about the recruiting process? Nobody really talks about this, but I've talked to former Alabama players who actually went on recruiting visits at Auburn. One of the key events that they took them to was cow tipping. This isn't a joke.
That's pathetic.
This came from the mouth of a former Alabama player who visited Auburn on his recruiting visits. They took them cow tipping. Come on now.
Come on now. Y'all.
That's why we call it Cow College.
I mean, it's just horrible. Like, why are they even there? Like, and then they have the nerve to say that they're. And thank you, Ty, for that Chris antidepressant medicine. Did he leave the chat? Like, is he crying or something? Like, he got to round up his squad. Look, if y'all get up in that chat, y'all need to send some money over. Don Parker, thank you for the super chat. Hal Barner is going to talk about Oats when they lost. Yeah, exactly. Like,
Right.
come on now. Y'all lost to Yale. Like, that's like losing to DeVry. Like, that's like losing to like Virginia College. Like, that's an online college. Like, how you lose to Yale? Come on now. Like,
you know, future bosses.
Right. It's like these people are just delusional. I don't see them anymore though. Maybe we ran them off. Look, he probably got to go out and tip them cows over so he can get him some dinner tonight.
Oh, he back now.
Where he at?
Chris.
Yeah, they lost to DeVry. Like, they have nothing to be proud about. Like, how you wake up every morning and choose to be raggedy? Like, how is that your standard? Like, we have a standard of being a champion where legends are made. How is your standard just being pitiful? Like, you lose at everything. You got to pay a Cam Newton to even consider coming there. I mean, and then they keep talking about that raggedy kick 6 from 2013, but they don't show what happened after that when they lost to Florida State and that show it. So it did nothing to them. See, that's how you act when you're not used to winning, right? Like, you got to tear down goalposts. You got to act raggedy and get on these folks' internet running your mouth like you ain't got nothing better to do. Like, it's pathetic. And I want to feel bad for the delusional people, but it's really hard to, because it's like at some point you have to snap back into reality, you know? Yeah. And I have feeling that this little Chris guy that he was at our A-Day, I'm pretty sure he got him a little title towel. He got him some Alabama hoodies. If you don't, I can definitely send you one. Let me know your shirt size and I can definitely hook you up.
I heard he was spotted on top of car hoods.
Doing what? Making him some money. Well, I'm just letting y'all know. Like,
TW and the ends in a G.
What? Twerking? Man, what you look? Ain't no wrong with. I'm just kidding. No,
actually, like, Dan, that was your brother at the grandstand Friday night. JB can attest to it.
Yeah, he was.
Hey, no, Chris, y'all give me footage. Send me footage. The me and Van.
Look, it had the nerve, and I don't know if that Chris, your brother, is in the chat. Had the nerve to go up to the DJ and request back that stuff. I'm like, really?
Are you serious?
Chris? Yes.
Man, y'all gotta tell me this stuff, man. Yeah.
Oh, Chris was on one.
She tells no lies, Dan.
He was on
one. He did.
Y'all hit me and Van up. We got him.
Yeah, he was on one. Yeah, I don't see Chris anymore. He probably crying with his little raggedy stuff. Yeah. And my thing is, like, if you're a fan of like one of the worst schools in America, why do y'all even have merchandise? Like, why? It doesn't, like, who's gonna buy? What is there what do you celebrate?
Well, you know what I'm saying? I did one time. I bought me an Auburn shirt. Yeah, I had to light my grill.
It's always on sale at Walmart in the clearance rack. You can always buy all stuff.
You gotta put it on
Walmart.
Right. And then I heard that their football tickets this season are free. Right.
Yeah.
Isn't that the case? They said that their attendance, I didn't even realize they had a spring game, but it said that their attendance was like 30K or something like that. Ours was like over 70K. Yep. I mean, but see, that's what happens when you're delusional. Like, your fans, the students don't even want to go. It's a waste of time. There's nothing to see. They ain't gonna show nothing because they're not gonna win anything this year. It's like, it's pathetic. It's absolutely pathetic. Like, you wake up in the morning. These players are literally waking up in the morning to go do nothing because they ain't winning. They're dressing out just to keep a scholarship. They're not winning nothing. And then they got their delusional fans coming on our channel running their mouth like they doing. Come on now. I mean, y'all better get real.
I mean, why would you go there? You know, education. I mean, what? I mean, why would you go?
Not that either.
Nothing. That's what I'm saying. Nothing.
There's literally there's literally no reason. There's literally no reason.
You know when your greatest player all the time say we're not Bama, nor will we ever will be.
Charles Barkley, exactly. Mm-hmm. Alabama fans sure do keep up. Y'all ain't even worthy of being in our mouths. We only talking about your little raggedy school because you're in our chat. You are here faithfully every Wednesday night. We told you that you need to find somebody church to go to for their Bible study because you need deliverance, because this ain't it. Like, we win over here. We have something to talk about. We literally have more shows coming. JB got a show coming this weekend. Because we have stuff to talk about. Y'all don't have nothing to talk about, so you're on our show. You and the Michigan fans that be in our chat, like, y'all know what time it is.
You know what time it is.
They
He
know
got
what
the
time it
Bama
is.
stand up. He got the notifications on every time we go live. He got to be there.
Here's the
Yeah.
reality. Literally, no one has ever spoken about Auburn when it came to national relevance. The peak of Auburn. I want you to hear this, Chris. I want all these fans who want to talk like that to hear what I'm about to say. Your peak is 9 wins. That's it. You're never going to be at the level of an Alabama, a Georgia, or an Ohio State. You're just one of those December 31st bowl
Outliers.
games participants. That's all you ever be. Occasionally, you'll get that 10 or 11 win season, but it's one every 5 to 8 years. You're not going to win a title. You had an anomaly in 2010 because you had a guy you bought and paid for with literally everything you had. Thank you, Yellowwood, right? Chris, no one is talking about Auburn.
He's not even talking about Auburn because he's on our channel.
I mean, y'all are the glorified homecoming opponents of Alabama's schedule and everybody's schedule.
It's disgusting. It's so disgusting.
You haven't done anything since Bo Jackson.
And even then, like, it's just, it's really like, I don't know. What you're going to say, Dan?
Yeah, the worst thing that can happen to Auburn is they win 10 or 11 games. Because what they're going to do, they're going to overreact and they're going to overpay the coach and give him this ridiculous buyout. That's what they do. They tend to overreact.
You raggedy. Yeah, because they're not used to anything. Yeah. Really quickly.
How many games this year have they really rolled Toombs Corner? How many? Really? How many?
I can't even remember.
I don't know either. Chris don't know either.
Playoff game. They rolled it when we lost.
Yes. That's it.
Yeah.
That's
it's sad. It's sad to go out like that. Like, you don't want to be a loser all your life. Come on now. Shout out to Don. Thank you again for the super chat. The Barn. Proof that throwing toilet paper in trees is an extra special kind of stupid. I mean, it is. Like, and I try to be careful what I say. I know I be going on my rants, but I try to be careful what I say because I would really go in on this person. Like, we appreciate your support because we know deep down that ultimately you are a fan. Like, you wouldn't be subscribed to our channel and here consistently every Wednesday night. Like, you literally show up when the show starts. Like, we really appreciate you, and we know that it's sad to have to wake up every day and your reality is losing. Like, that's like a horrible way to live. Like, you have nothing to look forward to. You know, in November we're gonna beat y'all. You know that it's gonna be a school that barely has won any game that's going to be like, it's sad, but we really hope that you snap out of that delusion because it can't, like, you can't go on like that. And you're saying November can't get here sooner. Even if y'all happen to miraculously beat us, you would still be raggedy. So at the end of the day, that's your standard is raggedy. Your standard is losing. So you still wouldn't be respected. Seriously, like, they still wouldn't be respected. Don't nobody, I mean, just call it what it is. People want to walk around with Auburn hoodies like they doing something. Like, you can't even get recruits to get recruits to want to show up. Like, it don't get no worse than that. I mean, anywho, okay, so I'm done with my rant for tonight. I knew that Chris, his big mouth was going to be on here. So let us know if you were at our A-Day, though, because we didn't even realize that y'all had a scrimmage game. I mean, that's pathetic.
It wasn't on TV.
It's nothing to show. What they got to show? I mean, literally, like, you mean to tell me that not one network thought that y'all were worthy enough to put y'all on somebody's TV? Like, come on. They could at least stream it on YouTube. I mean, come on now. That's horrible. But back, Linda,
bottom
line, y'all suck.
Look, that's thank you, Linda P.
We appreciate you, Linda Byron. Look, y'all like when I go on rants anyway, but whatever. I'm not gonna do that too many more times. But yeah, we gotta let him know because he be in that chat acting like he's relevant, like acting like Auburn has a seat at the table. Come on now, it's just Alabama and Georgia. I mean, that's it. You know, I mean, y'all don't have a seat at the table. You ain't no rival. No, a rivalry is a team that's good. That's a rival, you know. So anyway, well, let's get back to this portal because it sounds like Chris he hit somebody portal. I don't know what portal that is, but he hit somebody portal. So back to the subject at hand. We'll see, you know, what happens in terms of basketball. I mean, I think it's going to be fair game. We're going to start to see more guys, you know, possibly coming into Alabama. But the good news is that we've seen how Nate Oates and staff how they've been able to develop, you know, the guys who have come in from these different schools. So that's a positive way to look at it. You know, unfortunately Pringle may be leaving, but it is what it is. Now, I did want to quickly mention a few other, we have about 10 more minutes left, mention some more sports across the Alabama nation. Like we were just telling Chris, we have a lot to talk about because we actually win. They're not used to that on that side, so they have nothing to talk about. But, we can start off by talking about, golf. We have 3 of our former players that are competing in the RBC Heritage Tournament this weekend in South Carolina. So, of course, Lee Hodges, Justin Thomas, and then Nick Dunlap. So that's awesome. And then we also have women's tennis. So shout out to our girls. They beat Missouri today 4-0. 4-0 in the SEC tournament. So that's awesome. And then we have the NCAA first and second rounds coming up in, I think, the early part of May. So, that's just another thing. I mean, it's just, this is just what we do because we're Alabama. Like, you wouldn't know nothing about that because you're Auburn. Like, y'all don't do anything. But back to the topic, even with our gymnastics, our girls are participating, I believe, this week in the NCAA championship semifinals in Texas. Shout out to them. They've been doing, I've been so proud of the gymnastics team and just everyone across the board. I like how they're just, they're grinding it out. We may not win every single matchup, but they stay the course. And so I'm proud of our girls and our guys. From a baseball perspective, we shut out top-ranked Arkansas 5-0. We'll be playing Texas A&M tomorrow, and then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday in the SEC series. So shout out to baseball. I'm proud of them as well. And I'm going to get y'all's takes on these other sports once I finish up. So then women's basketball. The only thing that I wanted to mention here is that we actually added a new girl to our women's basketball team. So she was actually named the 2018 McDonald's All-American Guard. She's from the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff. So shout out to her. I think she's going to be a great addition to our team. And I think that, we have some positive things coming in terms of our women's basketball, women's soccer. Yeah, our girls were playing against Georgia at Georgia this Saturday. So that's our women's soccer. So if y'all are, in Georgia, feel free to go out there and support our girls. Men's tennis, we're going to be opening the SEC tournament tomorrow, and we're going up against South Carolina. That's going to be in Louisiana. And then softball, unfortunately, we lost to Texas A&M this week, but we'll be playing at Arkansas this Friday. So, like I said, Alabama has stuff to talk about. Auburn doesn't, but that's the standard, right? That's how it normally is. They come to us because they want to learn something. They don't do anything. They have nothing to show for why they run out on that field, what they practicing for. They ain't going to have a fall camp. So it's like you're wasting your time. Like, you're just keeping people on scholarship so they have somewhere to be. Like, y'all aren't gonna win anything. Linda P, Chris, we ain't thinking about Pam Newton. He's one of Hugh Free's stripper. Well, no.
Chris, you got CCA and Lynn on you, but it's not good, man.
I know.
Just log off, man.
He sure
log off.
No, but you know what?
Log off,
He should go ahead and log out, man. Like, because look, you don't want me and Linda because that's a full-on tag team. We'll get that ass for real.
He didn't get enough of Hannah last week because Hannah gave it to him last week.
I mean, but you know what? There are some people that like. They like that, right? It's like people kind of get turned on with stuff like that. I think that he's one of those. He's either that or it's like a young child that's playing around on somebody's internet. But either way, we appreciate the support. You're literally here every single week. So we couldn't thank you enough. And Linda, keep going in. Keep lining him up. Everybody else, like, look, y'all got to let him know because I don't know where he gets his information from. Right. Like, where are you getting your information from that makes you feel so confident to speak up in our chat? Like, Cam Newton on Club Shade. Don't nobody want to watch that. Ain't nobody think about me. Shout out to Cam Newton because he's really good, but ain't nobody trying to watch that. Like, Auburn watches us. Charles Barkley, he said what he said and he stood on that, and so it speaks volumes. Now, before we close out, I want to get y'all's perspectives on some of the upcoming games that we have, some of the championship games that we're playing in, that Alabama is playing in. I ain't say Auburn, that Alabama is playing in. I don't even think Auburn got invited to any of them, but of course they didn't. So I'll start with you, JB. Any games that you're looking forward to seeing or anything, any other sports that you want to call out?
I just love to see Alabama win it in all sports. I see it up and down my timeline. I follow Alabama stuff. And I want to give a shout out to people that go to these baseball and softball games at the Joe. Man, it'd be packed out there. Yeah. And they go faithfully too. I'm gonna have to catch one. I never been, I'm gonna have to catch one. So I'll be watching that stuff, man. I saw the softball game you was talking about. We lost to A&M. Yeah, I saw that on Sunday, but I'm looking forward to us winning and being the standard. That's what I'm looking for.
I mean, that's just what it boils down to, right? Like the standard is winning. They wouldn't know nothing about that. Like this Auburn stuff, y'all got to pipe down a little bit. Y'all wouldn't know nothing about that. But like you said, it's just a matter of wanting to see us win. Because, I feel like when there's a tradition, there's a certain standard. You practice to that level and you play at that level. It's not about, okay, well, we just own we gonna be like Auburn and we just want to maintain our scholarship. We're gonna do just enough to get by. No, the standard is to win, because otherwise what you out there for? You know what I'm saying? Like we don't work like that. That's not what we do at Alabama. Now, Dan, I'm gonna get your perspective, and I see how you looking. I don't know if that look is for me, but I want to get your perspective. Are there any games that you're looking forward to seeing, or any of the upcoming championships that we're playing in?
Yeah, definitely. I'd like to see the softball team. Let's get some bats going, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We Coach Murphy. Let's get some. I don't want to see no more slap hitters. You get them at the top of the lineup, but we got to get some pop in the bats. Yeah. We got to really. That's what holding. We're wasting great pitching. We're wasting great pitching. I want to see the bats. We need big bats. We need heavy hitters in the lineup. So that's the type of players we got to start going after. And baseball, like I said, shout out to the 5-0 victory over number one ranked Arkansas, I believe. Yeah. So that was huge, tremendous feat. Chris, it's fun, man. You wouldn't understand that, but. Man, it's great time to be an Alabama Crimson Tide fan. Now we don't just have to wait till football season. Oh, this is football season. Hey, basketball has gotten us to spring. You know what I'm saying? So that was exciting. Softball. We got that used to be our thing, man. And we got Oklahoma coming. We used to be it in the SEC in softball. Now we got Oklahoma coming in. And we're not going to take a back seat to anybody. You know what I'm saying? We got to let people know that. We got to let people understand that we are Bama. So, I challenge Coach Murphy, let's get these bats going, man. Let's quit wasting all this great pitching.
Yeah.
Let's get these bats going, man.
Yep. I agree. I mean, from my perspective, I'm looking forward to seeing all of them, because I feel like we focus so much on football, and rightfully so. I mean, of course we do, but I definitely want to see because I feel like they kind of feed off of each other. And I think that even from the, the basketball perspective, men's basketball, with Nick Saban, going to the games, and Milroe and Malachi Moore, all of them, I think that support, that's what they needed, whether it's baseball or, golf, whatever it is. I think that we do have to make sure that we're supporting, all of the teams for sure. Track and field, they've been getting different honors. They've been doing really well. Swimming and diving, the SEC honors that they've gotten recently. So I think it's awesome. I'm really excited to see, even just over the next couple of weeks, who we pull in from the portal in terms of football. I think that there is some more. And I ran into Roll Tide Willie. I haven't uploaded that photo yet, but I ran into Roll Tide Willie, and we were just chatting, and I was just telling him how great of a job that he's done in terms of influencing, some of the recruits that we've gotten. And he was like, well, between me and you, if you think that what we've gotten so far is good, he was like, wait till you see what we're going to have coming in next year. That's what he said. So whatever that looks like, I think we have a lot to get excited about. So as we get ready to end the show, let's pop our socials and any other shows that we may want to promote. JB, I'll start with you. Any social media that you want to share, and then any other shows. You mentioned your one that's going to start airing this weekend, so be sure to pop that one.
Yeah. Well, you can follow me on Twitter X at young_ENT_. Also follow my YouTube, Sports Talk with JB. That's my show. And you mentioned it on Bama Standard this Saturday night, talking Bama, 8:30 p.m. Central Time. Me and my partner JT. It's gonna be our first episode, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. So if y'all could tune in to that, make sure you do that. And shouts out to Title Tower as always.
As always, like we said, visit whitwellsports.com and enter the promo code STANDARD to get your title towel. Go ahead and get it before the season starts, and actually get a few of them so you can gift it to, your family members who kind of like have a love-hate relationship with Alabama, because I'm sure they would appreciate it. All right. And then Dan, any social media or any other shows?
Definitely. You can find me on Twitter, X, at the Final Whistle Dan. You catch me every Tuesday night on the final whistle. You catch me right here every Wednesday night. You know what I'm saying? At the Crimson Dynasty. I might change my name to Crimson Dynasty Dan. That has a better name. You know what I'm saying?
You should.
And you know what I'm saying? I want to invite y'all. Y'all get the title towel called Chris gonna need something to wipe away them tears, man. But Linda gave you another L, but Aubrey just took another L tonight.
That's all they know how to do. I mean, it feels normal to him though, because he's not used to anything else. You know, I mean, that's just the norm. You know, and it's really sad. I mean, you making Auburn look even worse than they already do. Man, like I would just stop.
Get that laptop and do it like this, man.
Right. I would just stop. I mean, it's.
I like that.
That's dope. Yeah. Change your name to that. All right. And then you can I'll need to lay down after this. Anyway, we're done with the Auburn mess. He's still running his mouth, but he don't want that smoke. We lit into you about 15 minutes ago. And we thought that put you to bed, but you know, we hope and pray that you have an encounter with the Lord tonight, so that he can kind of get some of that delusion up out of you. You can find me on Instagram at beauty_of_intelligence. And right now, this is my only show. There may be another one or two at some point. Who knows? We shall see. Now, be sure to tune. I'm going to go ahead and mention this. I was talking with the NFL agent that we had on a few weeks ago, and he is going to be joining our show next week. So that's just a heads up. So if y'all thought that the previous one was good, we had a lot of good questions for him, but he dropped a lot of good knowledge, like even far beyond what we were asking. So we're going to have him back on next Wednesday, especially leading up to the draft. Of course, the draft is next week. So we're going to have him on to kind of talk about just the process, what we should expect to see in terms of, from the fan perspective, and then maybe some hidden gems that, other fan bases may not know. Of course, Alabama, we got those ties, those connections, because we actually send guys to the draft. I mean, and a lot of them. So but they wouldn't know nothing about that. Anyway, okay. Well, we appreciate everyone who's joined tonight. Like we said, be sure to like and be sure to subscribe as well if you haven't already. And we appreciate everyone in the chat. We see a lot of the names are very familiar. So we definitely appreciate the support, those who have returned, and then welcoming everyone who's new. Be sure to come back next week, same place, same time. We should have Hannah back as well. Without further ado, be sure to check out JB's show this Saturday night. If you have the notification bell already turned on, you should be notified when he gets ready to go on air. So we hope that everyone has a great and blessed night. Roll Tide, roll.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.